Hi, my name is Ryan Hoffman, and on this week's Countdown to Planting, I'm going to cover a few different seed treatments that UFC has to offer. Starting with soybeans, we have a Warden CX. It's a fungicide, insecticide-based product. Starting on the fungicide end of things, it's 3 fungicides and 3 different modes of action on each fungicide. Each soybean has a phytophthora or root rot resistance rating in the seed itself, but this soybean resistance in the seed does not become present in the seed until the V2, V3 stage soybean. Therefore, that's why we kind of like to put the fungicide on at the treating time, because that allows us to give us 40 days of protection or kind of get us up to that V2, V3 stage. A little breakdown on what diseases we're kind of looking at. I broke it down kind of in an environmental temperature type stages. So on the wet and cool seasons, we see a lot of pythium out in the soybeans. Opposite now, if we go to wet and we have a warm season, we see a lot of the phytophthora root rot. And that's where a lot of this fungicide treatment helps prevent. And also, or if we have a real dry year, and these two diseases that I'm going to talk about here, kind of, it doesn't really matter the temperature, but it does like the drier weather, and that is Rhizoctonia and Fusarium. But the Warden CX portion that we put on the soybeans will help cover these different disease pressures that we see occur throughout the season. On the insecticide end of things with the Warden CX, the insecticide gives the soybean a more, I like to say, a bigger effect, or it's a more vigorous plant. At the R1 stage, if you kind of do a side-by-side of treated versus non-treated, at the R1 stage of the treated Warden CX plant, we normally see the plant is 1 full trifoliate ahead of the other non-treated plant, which means 1 more full trifoliate gives us more photosynthesis. So also with insecticide, it reduces late season aphid pressure. We've seen in studies that plants have been treated with Warden versus non-treated, guys haven't had to come back and respray for aphids. So that kind of covers the Warden CX end of things. Moving on to the inoculant that we put on soybeans, this product should go on every bean. Soybeans take up 5 pounds of nitrogen to make 1 bushel of soybeans. So if you kind of do the math, a nodule or soybean nodules make anywhere from 250 to 300 pounds of nitrogen throughout its life cycle. And so if you do the math, divide that by 5 pounds, that will give you anywhere from 50 to 60 bushels of soybeans. And I know guys are looking to really push the yields, so adding this inoculant, it actually puts rhizobia onto the seed itself, which increases nitrogen fixation. So the soybeans, or the rhizobia that are in the soil now, we call them surviving rhizobia. But the rhizobia that we put on the seed in the inoculant, those are what we call breeders, and those are what will help the nodulation and with fixed nitrogen, excuse me. So the cost of the inoculant is anywhere from $3 to $4 per acre, but we have seen in the studies it's always 1 to 2 bushel yield increase using the inoculant. So the major increase we've seen in yield is when we apply that on corn ground. So that'll cover the inoculant end. Let's move over to the wheat. I know wheat, we plant that early and cool. So putting treatment on wheat is very, very profitable. We need a good stand on the wheat to help reduce weed pressure. So Warden Cereals helps protect you from Fusarium and Rhizoctonia. So Vibrance, which is in the wheat, that's a SDHI and the fungicide in Warden Cereals that will help you protect you from the Rhizoctonia. We normally plant, like I say, we plant in wet and cool soils, and another option we always have is putting Ascend in with the treatment itself. We have seen on studies on the wheat also it's a 5 bushel increase adding the Ascend with it. So that kind of covers up, I guess, on the treatment end of things. If you guys have any questions or if you're interested in talking more about it, contact your local field sales grounds for UFC. Thank you.